We're live, Nick. What's going on, man?
Not much, but we're good to go. I see the red online at the top left, so I hope everybody that is here watching can see us and hear us. The group chat on the right side, Frank, is this working on your end too? Maybe if people are here, can let us know.
Yeah, I believe it is. You can actually do a Q&A also, so we
Oh,
can
great.
bring up that app. So it's a Q&A. We can answer some questions. We're supposed to start at 6:30. We'll start at 6:40 just to get this all figured. We got to get this all figured out. But basically, what we're gonna do is Nick and I, for the last 2-3 years, have really been involved in sports media. And what we basically have done is we started off blogging, and we went into sort of a network that we call U Stadium. Now, we've been working with sports websites such as Fan IQ and sort of working with them on expanding their viewerships, as well as giving their writers some pointers and sort of being ambassadors for them per se. The point of this webinar is basically to have users and writers of Fan IQ come on, engage us, see what see what we have to say, answer questions, give their own opinions as well. We're no experts here. We've just been in the industry for a little while. We've been very educated on the happenings in the sports world, so we kind of wanted to kind of give back to the writers and go over ways in which you can really maximize your viewership and exposure and get more likes, get more retweets, be someone that actually breaks news. I mean, I know it's almost impossible unless you're at a venue or you're at an event or you're actually friends with an athlete to break news, but that's not really the case. Nick and I have broken some news in the past. For example, the Carmelo Anthony signing to New York. Nick had a connection. We found it out. That was like our first big step. Remember that, Nick? Every day on our blog, it was like 150, 200 views, 50 views, 100, 200. Once that news was broken, we had 10,000 views in like 2 hours. So it kind of like put us on the map a little bit when we started with our Flopping Out blog. We kind of got away from it a little bit because we wanted to venture into some new things, and writing got a little heavy for us because there was only two of us. We wanted to venture out, but we'll always, we still write for Fan IQ, and we still do some things in that regard. So, so my name's Frank. I am now the one of the co-founders of Next Gen Social Sports. And Nick, you can give a little introduction to yourself as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Frank said we started with the blogging, really went, geared almost to find more of a niche since it is the sports reporting and sports journalism and media field is like opening Pandora's box. There's just so much to it. So really to find your own niche is what we did, and we started a New York Jets web show called Flight 5 Live back in, I think, June of last year. And through a lot of connections that we made through teams, through the team, through players, we started that show. It airs Friday nights at 7 p.m. on flight5live.com. Like Frank said, my name is Nick. I worked at WFAN in New York City, the sports radio show 660. I think they're on like 101.9 now. Not 100% sure, but I started there, made a lot of great connections there, and one thing led to another, and I'm also a co-founder of Next Gen Social Sports, working and writing for Fan IQ as well. So, we just hope to provide you guys and everyone out there who wants to listen and is willing to listen, hope to help you guys out to really, maximize your exposure in a sense of how to best put yourself out there and how to best promote yourself. Because if you don't promote yourself, nobody's going to do it. So, the main things, and Frank, Frank and I share the same brain when it comes to this. It's content. Content is king. As long as the content, is evolving, because it is evolving every day. So as long as you're keeping up with the times and not living in the stone age of, blogging, writing something, and posting it and hoping that somebody sees it, you got to do more than that. I mean, that's great and all if you want to get yourself, give yourself a platform to really voice your opinion. But if you want to go and further along yourself and what you're writing for, the company that you're writing for, whether you're writing on your own blog. It's really about adapting and changing with the times, because you could sit there and type away until your fingers start falling off. And believe me, Frank and I have done it on Flopping Out. We would literally probably blog, what, Frank, 12 to 14 hours a day? And
yeah, probably. Me 12, 14, you like, 7, 8.
Yeah, I got the extra long lunch break, but it's and it gets tiring. We'll be the first to tell you, obviously. So it really is about changing. And all in all, we're at Next Gen Social Sports now, really working on a lot of futuristic and revolutionary ways for fans to interact with one another and voice their opinions.
Exactly, and building off that point, we have some new revolutionary thoughts about how we think that the writing world really, how we think that writers should or could be able to really gain some crazy amount of exposure. I basically broke it down into 3 elements that I think are extremely important for any writer, sports writer, to differentiate themselves. Number 1 is being informative. Are you an informative writer? If you want to write as a sports fan about, the fact that the Jets' running game isn't where it should be because the offensive line isn't good, give me more. Give me, what does the left tackle do? What does the left guard do? What does the center do? Get very informative. Enlighten me as a sports fan on what's going on. Make me be hungry in terms of, what you have to say, because if you get enlightened by the sport, if you figure out that, a left tackle is supposed to down block, and then there's a puller, and you get very technical. Some people like that. That's being informative. That's an avenue that you can go down, but you need to master the craft. You need to study football. You need to study, buy John Madden's new book. Really inform yourself so you can be informative to the, everyday fan. The number 2 way is being entertaining. Are you funny? Do you make me laugh? Are you someone that when I read your stuff, I'm like, damn, this kid's hilarious. He entertains me. Be someone that's entertaining if you want to go that route. You can mix the both, informative and entertaining, but, have an identity. Are you, a funny blogger? Are you someone that, gets chuckles? Or are you someone that's more informative? Know your role so your audience isn't, so you're consistent with your audience. People don't like inconsistent anything, especially when they're reading stuff. And the 3rd way that, that we kind of broke down when I was speaking to Dan of Fan IQ and Steven and a lot of people there is, are you breaking news? Now, if you're not informative, you're not entertaining, but you want to go down, let's say, the breaking news avenue, what you need to do is, yes, it's going to be hard for you to, Nick and writers out there, it's going to be hard for you to get access to that breaking news. But what you can do is you can be the fast follower. Nick and I, remember Ben Maller? Ben Maller was a small-time sports guy, but he used to get news faster than anybody. He used to get it, and then we used to, promote the hell out of his news. Now, yes, you don't want to steal people's stories. We always gave credit to Ben Maller. Always credit people who you're taking stories from. But if an article comes out that, I remember I was in Target. Barry Bonds had just been acquitted. I ran down to the, I forget what store had a computer, but I got into, I think it was maybe an Apple store, got in and blogged real quick that Barry Bonds was acquitted. Blasted it out on Facebook, blasted it out on Twitter, blasted it out everywhere so that I was the one that people clicked on because they're like, holy cow, Barry Bonds is acquitted, Frank put that, and they click on there, and then all of a sudden you see that you're, getting hits. That is something you can do. Now, that is another avenue you can go. So I say number 1 is being informative. Number 2 is being entertaining. And number 3 is you're the fast follower. You're actually the one that is first in line on Facebook in terms of breaking some sort of news. So, Nick, I don't know what you think about that. I'm actually going to turn on the light. I'm going to turn up the electricity over here because it's getting dark out here. But, yeah, I'll be right back.
No, absolutely. I mean, it is about knowing your role and knowing, it's kind of like when you're in high school and you get accepted to college and you start your freshman year. The majority of people out there have no idea what they want to do. Whether some do, some don't. Most don't, I should say, but. As like Frank said, know where you fit in, know what you do best. Why would you want, if you have a football player who's a better blocker Then he is a pass catcher at tight end. You're not going to put this guy out. You're not going to send him out on a 20-yard, up the seams and throw him the ball when he's not going to catch it. He's a better blocker. He can run block. You're not gonna try and be a funny guy when you really have a dry sense of humor, but you know everything there is about the game. So Frank is 100% right. Two things for me, and I'll hit on what Frank said with the breaking news part, especially. Everybody, especially now in the day and age of social media, is trying to be the first person to get the news out. He wants to say, and I have an example from today where a really good writer, a really good respected analyst and reporter who works for NFL.com. I mean, you can't, there's not much higher you can go there. Ian Rappaport, and I'm a big fan of him, and I don't mean to crush him, but it just so happened that it's a perfect example for what we're talking about today. First isn't always the best in terms of reporting news if you want to go down that breaking news route. I'll give you an example today and yesterday. So it's just this weekend. There were two instances with Ian Rappaport, and you can follow him on Twitter at RapSheet, R-A-P Sheet. Great job. So I don't want to mean to just bash him here, but it kind of just played into what I wanted to talk about. So yesterday, he tweets early in the morning, Raiders expect quarterback Terrell Pryor to start today per sources. Passed his final concussion test yesterday after Matt Flynn, their backup, was prepped all week. Literally 3 minutes later, Jay Glazer from Fox Sports, who was very well respected as well, tweeted, Pryor is not expected to start today, did pass the concussion test, but the Raiders are going to start Flynn. So, you're going to, Rappaport has over, 100,000 followers on Twitter. He's going to get a backlash on that. People are going to say, oh, great job, Ian Rappaport, great job. In this instance, first is not the best. He wanted to be the first person to get the story out there and say, boom, Pryor is playing today, Flynn's not. Turns out, he kind of had an itchy trigger finger, reported the news, which was later confirmed that it was not true, and he had to go back on his tweet. Now I see Jay Glazer say, though, Pryor was clear, but Flynn will start. Flynn was prepping all day, but that'd be interesting. What I'm told on the Raiders, yes, Pryor was cleared, the team being cautious how his concussion was handled. Maybe both will play. So it is him just, now that he put a report out there, which was confirmed to be not true, he had to go back and quickly, dig through what he wrote and kind of dig his way out of the hole he buried himself in. Did it earlier today. Source, Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez has decided he plans to have surgery on his torn labrum after attempting to rehab. 4 to 6 month rehab process. Literally within 5 to 10 minutes after, the whole Jets beat reporter, all the reporters on the beat said he doesn't plan to have surgery now. He's going to go hear back from Dr. Andrews. They're leaning towards surgery, but it's not confirmed yet. So then he had to dig again, saying when surgery would happen on Sanchez, still hoping to give it a week or two to rehab one more crack, but surgery is coming. He's probably going to end up being right in terms of the Sanchez thing. He will have surgery. But in order to really, to protect yourself, I can say, in terms of breaking news, just make sure that you have the right information, not just the fastest information. And my second point on that, and then I'll let you go, Frank, is be relatable. Make sure when you are talking to somebody, you can kind of see eye to eye. Maybe if you think you're you're the biggest Jet fan in the world, and this guy doesn't have a thing on you, don't put yourself above that person, because in a sense, if you come out as an egotistical guy and nobody really likes that guy, make sure you're relatable. Know your audience, know who you're talking to, know yourself, and make sure what you say. You can have the other people, just picture them reading them saying, wow, you know what, I never thought of it that way, that's awesome. Or, I know what he's saying, I disagree, but I know where he's coming from. That generates buzz, that generates conversation, and that's a great way for you to kind of, who knows, maybe you'll find a new reader and they'll love your stuff, and they just love to read your stuff because you're relatable and you're willing to discuss and have an open mind about it.
Absolutely, and just basically building off what you said, to know a reader, for example, and to know who your audience is, you have to experience different aspects of writing. When we started writing, we didn't know if we were going to be more on the serious end. We didn't know if we were going to just be jokesters. We didn't know if we wanted to be, guys that had, news for the Jets more than news for the Giants. So basically start experiencing different things, Go to do some beat style reporting. do some blog style reporting. Do an article about, breaking down Peyton Manning's day and, comparing it to Tom Brady's day in '07, or compare the '07, on that time, compare '07 Pats to the, 2013 Broncos. That might be an interesting story. Just go down the stat line. Try different articles and see what stimulates you. I know for me, for example, I like the statistically based articles. Like, I would love to read an article saying, like, the '07 Patriots or the 2013 Broncos by the numbers. Who would you rather have? And kind of going through the roster, seeing who has the advantage, Let's say Demaryius Thomas and Randy Moss. Maybe give the edge to Moss, but then you would give Welker over, who was in the Pats in '07? Was Welker? No, he wasn't in the Pats in '07, was he? Yeah, he was.
I don't think so.
2007? Yeah, but, you can compare those two teams and sort of, do something of that realm. I think a lot of times people get stuck in one avenue on writing, and they think, I'm just going to be this blogger and just kind of do how it's been done. Try different things. Go to an event. Talk to athletes. Athletes do events. I know Nick and I were at an event last week with Powell and a bunch of Jet players. I mean, there was tons of them there. Ivory was there, Hill was there, Sanchez was there. I mean, just talking to Bilal Powell, you sort of, I got some information just that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't go to that event. And Powell, pretty much said, he loves Geno Smith. And then D'Brickashaw said that the best DN he played against was Julius Peppers. And you get information just by trying new things. Then I kind of thought to myself, hey, maybe breaking news with, off of events is a good avenue. Try new things. The brain works twofold. You bring information in, you make connections, you bring information out. The more experiences you can have in terms of your knowledge in the sports world, the more you can create avenues for people, and then you could just test the waters. I mean, that's what I think is very important. I think when you're first starting out, trying new things. So I think that's something that, and getting into social media, I think that's something that a lot of fans can do on social media. Try to tease on Twitter. Hey, I got this crazy story for you guys, ... link it. Go to LinkedIn. Try to post more professional stories for people in the sports world that are higher-end people that you might maybe want to work for. Friend them on LinkedIn. Post some interesting stories. Utilize your resources. Utilize all of them. Utilize Pinterest. Utilize Twitter, Facebook. There's a ton of avenues. Now, moving into the social media aspect, I think Twitter's good for opinions and asking. Asking and giving opinions, I think, is good. I think, you want to ask a question, you get a good response rate on Twitter. Wouldn't you say, Nick? And then Facebook is more of that eye-popping avenue where you want to post something that's when someone's streaming on their Facebook feed, they see this ridiculous story like, wow, that happened. And then I think LinkedIn is your more professional route. If you want to impress people that you're friends with, and obviously you need to do your, due diligence and actually friend and invite people on LinkedIn to like you, then you could post your more professional stories on there. Know your avenue, know your channels, and Nick, you're really good with social media, and you could probably talk a little bit about that. But I think Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn are avenues that you definitely have to utilize as a sports reporter, like 100%. You can't dismiss that.
Absolutely, and social media is, especially the world we live in now, everybody should have a social media account on every network. If you're an aspiring sports reporter, if you're an aspiring sports journalist, news journalist, anything. It doesn't have to just be sports. I know we're targeting more sports fans here, obviously, but get on Twitter and be responsive. Don't. And Frank and I, and with our companies, we try, our hardest, and we can't be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's probably more like 27. But try and answer every tweet. Start digging through the Twitter archives and searches. Use the hashtags. That's what they're there for, obviously. If you find, say, you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and start using, find fan bases, find tailgates, get yourself out there, do a news piece as an aspiring broadcaster or journalist. Go to a tailgate and report on one of the cooler tailgates at Heinz Field. A, you get more readers. B, you get a great story and to start off with that's fun and entertaining for you, and you don't have to go through any players, because sometimes players and teams' PRs can be a real pain. But to do something on a fan tailgate is a great story. I've seen multiple younger journalists, students, and aspiring journalism guys do stories on tailgates, and they have a blast doing that. You know, you enjoy the tailgate, talk to a ton of people, you know, friend those people on Facebook and Twitter. You know, you create a whole new circle of fans there, and you know, who knows what comes of that. Actually, we could speak on that of Wesley, who does Flight 5 with us. He started out with Jets Insider, a Jets fan run site and message board. He went to the L7 tailgate and met tons of us. You know, we would have probably never met Wes through you know, for Flight 5 if he didn't like, come and done the story on L7 that day. So, I mean, that's a great way to kind of get yourself off and rolling. And, you know, like I said on Twitter, you know, especially football fans now, everybody is on there. And everybody, for the most part, is very welcoming and you know, will respond to tweets. You'll get a few here and there that are some wise guy tweets, and they're funny. You can't take them personal, and definitely don't get into any personal or heated arguments where it starts to get personal. Keep it more friendly and open-ended. Know, again, where you are and who you are and what you write for. But another great outlet, and it's just getting better and better now with the addition of video, is Instagram. You know, our company uses the Instagram pictures, and I can't tell you how many people within seconds, if you put up a cool looking picture with a nice filter and a cool comment,
and hashtags.
Hashtags. You get 25 to 30 likes on a picture and comments within seconds, and then, you know, start adding people. They add you back. They start liking every picture. It's just a great, you know, a never-ending cycle of reposting and liking and brand awareness if you are starting your own brand, or just personal awareness. I've met like 3 or 4 people who wanted to do some type of work with us just off of Instagram liking our pictures. So use all of these outlets to your advantages. That's why they're there. That's why we're in the age of social media. It's free. You know, it's hard. It's hard to keep up with, but you know, none of this definitely comes easy. So, you know, definitely get on there, do it as much as possible, and make sure you respond to, or try to respond to most, if not every tweet, Facebook post, Instagram picture, Pinterest, and all that. So, I mean, you know, the sky's the limit in terms of promoting yourself on social media. It's all about just getting it done, for sure.
Yes, definitely. And utilize social media in its essence, meaning like utilize the different outlets for what they're worth. For example, I think a great idea for a sports reporter or a sports writer or whatever you want to call yourself, a sports enthusiast, use Instagram video. Do a couple shouts. I mean, no one really. I don't see any sports reporters or, you know, thriving. You know, I don't even know people that want to thrive in the sports field. I don't see them really utilizing the Instagram video. Get on there. You know, get it open and say, you know, Geno Smith, man, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Like, oh, 16 of 20? Oh, 3 interceptions. What is going on? How inconsistent can you be? Like, do stuff like that. Be different. And if you feel something, do it. If you think something about something in sports, do it. You know what's going on in the sports media world right now? Everyone is very critical of everything coming out. An article comes out, you see people tweeting about it. What the hell is this guy talking about? I do it. Why did they give the Jets, you know, quarterback a C? Why didn't they give him a B? Everyone's so critical. Don't worry about that. If you think that the Jets quarterback got an F, write down the F and explain it. You know, obviously you have a reason for it. You're not, like, delusional.
Own it.
Own it, exactly. Own it and go with it. There's a reason why you believe that. That'll separate you from the rest. What you see now is a lot of different websites are doing the same thing. They sound the same, they look the same, they say the same thing. When you get a person on your site, if they're not reading something unique, they're not coming back. This isn't like the world has thousands, you know, hundreds of thousands of blogs, like sports blogs. You know, like if you're not giving someone something different, they're not going to come to your site. You know, Nick and I would almost go too far and try to be too different sometimes, where we weren't even ourselves trying to get people to come to our site, because that's how competitive the sports blogosphere is. As I said before, you're not going to be informative because you just don't have the time, and you're not going to be entertaining, and you're not necessarily going to break news because you just don't have the time. You better be extremely different in how you're going to do things. I'm talking about maybe every post you have a picture or a video or whatever the case may be. Like, those channels are basic channels of being different. If you're not going to go down one of those channels, informative, entertaining, or breaking news, you better really have some outrageous opinions or really go ham on what you're thinking or writing, because, like, you're not going to separate yourselves, and that's what you want to do. You want to separate yourselves to get someone to notice you and to like you, friend you, and you know, you're their guy.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely. And Frank, with that, I want to. I see we have a few questions here in the Q&A. If you guys want to you're out there and you want to hop in the video or just ask a question and we'll answer it, just hit that little Q&A comment up there. But let's see if I can get this up. Let's see.
We have questions. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, can you bring those up, Ryan?
Yeah, I did. So I have one question here. What's the quickest way through social media to get attention when you work full time and have only an hour in the evening? Yeah, I would say, and that's Brenda linked, my favorite woman sports fan. We went ham on Tebow when he was around. Too bad he's not anymore. We'll talk about that on Twitter or we'll talk whatever. But I think the quickest way through social media to get attention, Nick probably be better served to do this, but in my opinion, it would be different. You think Tebow should be on the Jaguars? Write it. Why is Tim Tebow not on the Jaguars? This is ridiculous. Write something that has some fire to it. I see a lot of people, they water down their tweets. Don't water it down if you want to be known. Let it go. Let it rip, as they say. So I would say definitely just being, very you and no filter almost. That's what Twitter's for.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of touches back on pretty much. It's a good question because it wraps up. It's almost as if we read the question before and answered it when we were going through what we were saying. But the quickest way, in short, there really is no quick way. It takes a lot of time, and it's tough when you do only have an hour or so in an evening. But if you do have that hour or so and you really do want to get out there, use every last second of that hour to tweet and to target who exactly you're looking for. Targeting your audience is it's number one, number two, and number three. It's everything. So if it is like you're talking about the Jaguars in this instance, start tweeting Jaguar fans. Tweet the Jaguar players. Say, hey, I'm starting up a sports blog. Would you mind a retweet? I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no? Okay, so then you're in the same exact spot you were a second ago. If you get that retweet, that guy has over 100,000 fans. Who knows? Maybe if 10% of them see that, you're in pretty good shape. You'll get some followers, you'll get some fans, you'll generate a ton of conversation. But long story short, Brenda, and thanks again for the question. It's use every last second of that hour you do have, because there's no replacing the time and effort you put in. You'll get what you put into it at the end of the day.
All right, now we have a question from Brent. What's up, Brent? You beat me in fantasy last week or 2 weeks ago. Shocker. Both my teams are 1-3. I don't know what's going on over here. Maybe I shouldn't be the one talking about sports here.
Well, you're not doing a fantasy show, so that's good.
So he goes, how have you guys made people listen to what you're saying through social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, from your company perspective and individual? Because I'm having a hard time with my startup getting people involved and being interactive. Yeah, that's definitely something that is a challenge, to say the least. I think the best way, and I think to start out, I think you want to start, and Nick might disagree with me on this, but I think you have to start small. Start small means know one thing, master that one thing, and let people know that you know that one thing. For example, last year or the last couple years with Tim Tebow on the Jets and Broncos, I made it a goal, and not even just for a exposure standpoint, but because I was genuinely interested. You want to be interested in something, or else you're just going to lose interest over time. So I was genuinely interested in this whole Tebow thing. I was like, what's with this polarizing figure? Why is everyone about him? What's up with him? I didn't even like him in college. And then I kind of looked into him, and it was just interesting to see how a guy who can score touchdowns but does not have the things that you look for in a prototypical quarterback, just doesn't fit, and his religion kind of hurts him. So I kind of mastered Tebow and wanted to know more about him and really dug in. And then you could start relating to people that have the same exact thoughts and opinions as you. And then you'll build a fan base, and you'll build a place to talk to people. I met Brenda that way. I met a ton of people on, Tebow fans that way. It was just something that we had in common, we knew about, and we sort of built our brand that way. Know something and then go to the next thing. So I was big on Tebow, then I went over to Geno Smith, and then West Virginia fans came. And I just love quarterbacks, so I kept moving quarterback to quarterback, tweeting, Facebooking, writing articles about it. And you will build exposure, and you'll build a presence within those specific channels. So get a specific channel and really master it. That's my number one goal, I think, for any aspiring, sports startups that are trying to get exposure via social media.
Yeah, I'll come at it, since you came at it kind of an individual in terms of sports, I'll come at it, Brent, to add to your question again. Brent said, how have you guys made people listen to what you're saying through social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter? from your company perspective and individual, because I'm having a hard time with my startup getting people involved and being interactive. As a company startup, when you're starting a company, and we can, and Frank and I have about have examples on both ends. One company where we are fully efficient and we have a full scale of plans for one thing, and then the next one is kind of almost like a hobby where it's a free, everybody's free to do their own thing. You want to add a writing, you want to add a video, you want to do this, and that. If you're really going towards putting a company together, you have to have a set of rules, a set of who's doing what, who's in charge of this, how are you being rewarded, whether it is incentives or whether you're contracting out to hire people, or if you're looking to incorporate into an LLC or whatnot, equity for people. So if you're running a company and you're looking for, and you're in the tech world, you need programmers, you need people to market, you need a sales and business team. It's all about finding kind of like and Frank always uses this example with us, is it's a basketball team. Who's the point guard? Who's doing this? Who's the two on the team? Who's the power forward? Who's the small forward? Who's the center? Everybody has a job, and when everybody, when you know and you trust the people you're working with, because trust at the end of the day is everything in terms of a company and building your company, a young one, especially like Brent, who's trying to do a startup here. Make sure everybody knows their rules and don't overstep certain boundaries. If you're on, if you do marketing and someone's in charge of tech, and you feel the tech team is a little slower than the marketing team, trust your team as long as you do trust them. And I know it's maybe sound a little confusing here, but if you trust that person enough, trust them to do their specific job and their specific goal. And like I said, make sure everybody knows what they're doing, how they're doing it, what needs to be done, and when. So that's in terms of a company perspective for us speaking here, to get people involved and make sure they stay on top of their duty.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that's very important. If you want a company to act like a company, you need to treat it like a company. Mm-hmm. It needs to be a company. So like I know Nick and I, when we started blogging, we were and I break down business kind of in 3 sectors: product, marketing, business, and sales. Product gives something to marketing. Marketing gets it exposure. Business and sales supposed to get something from that exposure, whether that's actual capital or whether that's a barter agreement, whatever that may be. That'll help then product. And then product can use that money or can use that extra design that someone made because you gave them a shout out in the marketing side. You can just use it. That's the business cycle. For example, when Nick and I were doing a blog, it was product marketing forever, and we're not making much money. You need someone that's going to call up 30 to 40 stores a day and say, hey, I'm going to come out with this article. I'm going to guarantee you 1,000 views. We'll promote your product underneath. We'll give it a little link, like you need to do that little stuff. And if you can't do it yourself, I know a lot of writers want to create this big brand, and that's something, Brenda's actually asking now. She asks, how can someone who is new to sports writing get in and get their name out there? If your goal is to just get your name out there, know that over time it becomes exhausting. You're going to write a lot. You're going to spend a lot of time doing it, marketing, and you don't really know where you're going to go. You don't know what's next. You want a business and sales something, whether that's one person, whether that's you. 3 sectors can be done by one person. For example, Facebook. He does product. He does business and sales when he started off. Marketing, he didn't do much, Zuckerberg, but you can do, if you're really, stressed on time, Brenda, it might be best, because you said you were working before, it might be best to get someone to just do business and sales. Say, hey, John, I'm going to write this crazy article about Tebow. Can you call up some companies and see if maybe we can promote Tebow's next jersey, and whatever the case, and we'll give out a free jersey. It's amazing how much your morale will go up when you get barter agreements in on some little articles. You just feel like you're actually working and doing something that motivates you. Nick and I came out with a video, had 176,000 views on YouTube, some spoof video we did. Nick was a star in that video, but we came out with the video and nothing happened from it. We just came out with it, had 176,000 views. We thought we were going to be like, on MTV or something, and that's it, like nothing. And I woke up the next day and I was, still eating tuna fish without a car and wearing a white tee. You know what I mean? Like, that's just product and marketing gets exhausting. Concentrate on business and sales, because even when you concentrate on business and sales, you're never putting in enough time in business and sales. Business and sales deserves just as much time as product and marketing. So make it a goal as a writer to get something done for your writing. Now, when you first start, it's product, it's marketing. Obviously, you're not going to know how to market, and how can you sell if you don't have anything to get money from, to sell? But once you get that 500th view on a story, start saying to yourself, I'm going to get some small businesses to promote on my page. Get some money. Then with the money, you can upgrade your website. You might be able to do more things. It's extremely important. And Nick can attest to this. Product, marketing, business, and sales. Story, likes. Hey, we got 50 likes. If we get 50 likes on our next story, we'll promote John's Pizzeria. We'll put a link on our next story. Okay, here's $100. Promote my thing. The $100 goes back into product, and you might be able to get a better-looking website just from that $100. It's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you know, for me, and I know this works for me, and it works for Frank too, because it just happened this morning for us today. I think it's so important to set goals for yourself. Set daily goals, set monthly goals, set yearly goals, 5-year goals. As our company, a young company, we have a full set of goals where we want to be tomorrow at this time, where we want to be in 6 months, where we want to be in 5 years. And if you have daily goals, don't throw everything at them. Don't load yourself up. Be realistic with your goals too, and make sure you execute on each one of them. Frank and myself, had 3 or 4 goals that we had to set for the day that we had to do. We hit on each one of them and made sure we did them until, I can't tell you the amount of times. Yeah, exactly. I can't tell you the amount of nights that we spent probably 3, 4 a.m. at McDonald's going over some programming stuff and different product stuff, and we had to stay there even though I was probably falling asleep and Frank was running Frank ate all the nuggets on the nugget machine, and we had to stay there. My
mouth was connected to it,
So yeah, I mean, setting daily goals and fulfilling each goal that day. It doesn't have to be I want to be a millionaire tomorrow. Be realistic with your goals, even if it's I want to find somebody who wants to help me with my marketing. Call 50 people. Google is your best friend, just like social media. It's free, it's easy, it's right here on your computer. Google, in your area. Go to Twitter, use the Twitter advanced search, type marketing in whatever your zip code is, and dig through them. Take an hour, take 2 hours, take 3 hours, and make sure if it's one goal for a day and you hit on it, you had a productive day. I mean, you gotta set your daily goals. Make sure they're realistic, and make sure you get them done.
Exactly. And if you have a good feeling about somebody in business, and this is going to be completely taboo because people think I'm crazy for this, if you have a good feeling about somebody and you know them for a couple weeks, give them a shot, man. Everyone in business is so nervous to work with people. Give them a shot. Just make sure if you don't really trust someone 100%, don't sign your name to anything. You don't sign your name to anything, you're never obligated to anything. So I'm just saying, like, you have a good feeling about someone when you're a sports writer and you want to have them write with you, give them a chance. You can only get better by allowing unsafe opportunities that you seem unsafe. And that's the thing with a lot of us is, like, we get fearful to do things. And that's just like a human mechanism. It's always been like that. It's innate. We're fearful to do this. We're fearful to do that. Give someone a chance. Seriously, give them a chance. They let you down too many times. You don't trust them. They're not doing anything to better your business. They're not doing anything to better product marketing or business and sales. They're not doing anything for you productive. You're just wasting your brain energy on them. As a writer, you need to not only be fearful with what you're writing. Like, I want to write an article about the Jets making the playoffs. Nick thought I was ridiculous for even thinking that, but I really thought that, and I still do. I think the Jets can make the playoffs. I know I sound crazy, but I went out of my way to write an article about that. Yes, people said you're an idiot and whatnot, and you don't want to be called an idiot. It's a little nervous sometimes to come out with a story like that. Are people going to take me seriously? I have investors following me. They see me writing that the Jets are going to make the playoffs. Do they think I'm like smoking crack like during the day, or like I'm getting drunk? Like, what's going on over here? But I believe it, and I proved it, and maybe it's not right. Maybe it's wrong, but whatever. Regardless, be fearful in what you say, and be fearless, with what you say, and be fearless with who you work with. It's big. And as a writer, forget about always thinking the independent way. Start building, meeting. Go to an event. Get a story from an athlete. Post that you were at this event. You talked to this guy. He said that he's going to win the MVP. He said this to me. There's so many stories you can get that you haven't even touched the surface on getting because you think that you're going to get it from Twitter. Go and be the actual source of it. Be fearless and take your car 2 hours and go to an event. Yeah, it might be a waste of your time. Make it not and get a good cheeseburger on the ride back, and you probably have a couple funny stories on that trip anyway. Make your time worth it. Be adventurous as a writer. Adventure into different things, and then you'll find ways of being very interesting, and that's something key too.
Yeah, no, and all this is good stuff, and hopefully, you could take a few things out of this, and thanks.
Yeah, because we're giving you so much stuff. It's like, we're giving you 1,000 different things. It's like,
yeah,
take 2 or 3 things that you really liked, and then go towards, and go with it.
For sure. Yeah, and obviously, thanks for the questions. We'll try and get to the last few here, but I wanted to touch on why we're here and with Fan IQ, Frank, and we're looking for, and we hope, if you guys don't have a platform and you're looking for one, you want to voice your opinion, you want to get your stories out there, you want to join the Fan IQ network. If you want, log on to faniq.com and
I think Nick just got signed off. But all right, yeah. What? Hey, can you guys hear me? Hey, I don't know what just happened. That was really sudden. But basically what Nick was saying was we're with the Fan IQ network. If you want a place where you can actually post some articles in a sports reporting forum or in a sports reporting world, this is the site for you. Go check it out. You can write a lot of great stuff on there. If you email us, we can give you some sort of compensation for writing. You got to talk to us. We got to plan it out. But it's a really good place for sports fans to be able to, be sports reporters in some sense. So yeah. So I'm just gonna take another question here. Ryan Mayer goes. Hold on one second. Sorry I came late. Just wondering, how can you get your name out there? Because with me, I don't know how to contact such people to get my name out there. I have hit a speed bump when it comes to followers for Jets News 94. All right, so Ryan, we hit on this before, but I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear necessarily, or I'm not going to tell you what you could get from somewhere else. I'm going to tell you this: don't be scared with what you think. If you think something, don't even worry about a vote of approval from anybody. You watch the same games on Sunday that I watch, that Chris Carter watches, that Troy Aikman watches, that all these people watch. Say it. If you think that Colin Kaepernick is overrated, say it. If you think this, say it. Back up your statement, though, because if you say something and you don't back it up, it sounds like you're just saying stuff to get your name out there. Back it up with something. Back it up with a stat. Back it up with an opinion, with something. So that's my number one thing. Have some opinions. Your opinions are different than somebody else's. You're a different individual. Be different. And by being different, you need to be fearless. And when you write, tease. Tease your fans. Hey, I wrote this crazy story about how I wrote this great story about how Colin Kaepernick's overrated, ... Check it out. Post it. You would be surprised how many people would actually click on that. Be different. All sites now are very similar. It looks like they're writing the same thing. Be a different writer. Fan IQ, try it out. See you could check your views on each article. See what stories get a lot of views. My Jets will make the playoff story got a lot of views because it was a crazy article. You want your name to get out there, but you want to be realistic too. And I actually did believe that. All right. We have another great question. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. May I take your order? Oh man, that was a great movie, man. That really was. I haven't seen that movie in a while. But speaking of Good Burger, I went to Cheeseburger yesterday, and I had a fabulous burger. They're very underrated with how they, with how they make their burgers. It's got to give them a shout out. Shout out to Cheeseburger. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna wrap this up in the next 10, 15 minutes. What I wanted to say to everyone was that when you're trying to get your name out there. I think something you need to do too is do some just research. Research on a blog what is good content and what are good plugins. For example, have a share button. I know a lot of blogs don't even have that. Have a like button. Have a, comment section that's easy to use. Don't require people to put an email address unless you're doing something with the email address. Go take a different approach than other people. Make your website user-friendly so people want to go on it. Start, a Tumblr, I think, is important too. Have a Tumblr that coincides with your blog, or maybe you just want to do a Tumblr. Try new things. Look at technology as an advantage to you. FanIQ, for example, allows you the ability to go on and write basically whatever you want, and it gives you a platform to do it. That and we can help you get monetized. I think that's the way to do it. Is look at ways to market yourself on different platforms and master your platform. If it's just a blog, find a cool plugin, find a programmer to help you out. Here's another question from Ryan. He goes, I have to say FanIQ has been great. Nick got me started in it recently. Just to back up what you guys were saying. Oh yeah, definitely, man. No, FanIQ's been great for us too. It's a good place it's a great place to write articles and be different without having to listen to an editor. A lot of outlets, editors are king. You know what I mean? They tell you what to write, they tell you what not to write. So FanIQ is great because it allows you to write basically whatever you want, and it has a sports reporter feel to it. So we have another. It is a great place. Cheeseburger, great burgers, and they have incredible milkshakes. So many flavors. I know. I didn't get a milkshake though over there. I don't know. I can't do the whole burger milkshake thing. I think it doesn't really. I don't know. I can't have like milk with meat. I don't know. I don't know if that's like weird, but I don't do that. But yeah, if I want their milkshakes, I usually get them by themselves. But Nick said he's here. My computer died. Forgot my charger wasn't plugged in. Damn, I'm here. Yeah, cool. So Nick, yeah, I'm gonna be another 10 minutes so we get this hour in. But basically, the next thing I just wanted to get into was something that I think is important. I think educating yourself on sports is important. I think knowing, the X's and O's of football is important. I don't think you necessarily have to write about the X's and O's of football, or you have to write about how basketball became a sport, but the more you educate yourself on the sport, you'll start realizing some things about the actual game in itself that'll separate you. For example, I played football in college. I know what A-gap is, and I know what a defensive tackle in A-gap is responsible to do because I played that. When the Jets were playing against the Buffalo Bills, their D tackles all full in A-gap, and Nick Mangold and Vlad Dukas are great run blockers. I tweeted something about how he's going to get exploited, that Buffalo Bills tackle in A-gap. It ended up happening. It gives you credibility by knowing something extra. Obviously, if you didn't play football, you can do that by going on, for example, some sites are good, like Pro Football Focus is a good site to learn about that. Some people on FanIQ do some research in that realm. Research some things about the actual game in itself, the actual fundamental way of football, because that'll just give you a leg up on writing even some stupid humor story. You might have an idea about it. The more you feed yourself in, the more you can make connections out. They were saying, Robert Greene's a big author, was saying the most creative people and the best writers actually are people that experience the most. The greatest artists experience the most. They just see a lot of different things and they make all these connections. Their brains have connections with tons of things. So experiment, be willing to go out and talk to random sports fans in the street about what they think about Colin Kaepernick. It will really help you out, trust me. He goes, one more question from Ryan Mayer. One more question. I've seen a drop in the amount of followers that I'm reaching. Is there a tip you can give to reach more people with my things when it comes to followers?
I'll take that.
Yeah, there you go. Nick's good.
I'm back, by the way.
He has double the amount of followers as me, that bastard.
I had to jump in, Ryan. Appreciate you hopping on, buddy. I was talking about that before, and I know you missed it because you joined late, but use, again, the Twitter search option, #Jets. I know the Jet fans, just being huge fans, and following on Twitter is that big Jets follow Jets thing. Definitely use that thing, because what easier way than you're on a Jets, writing for a Jets website, what easier way than to find your target demographic than Jets follow Jets? I mean, they're basically yelling for you to say, hey, follow me, I'll follow you back and read your stuff. So if you do have the informative stuff, you find the right people to use and search the hashtag, search Jets, search hashtag NYJets, NYJ.
And
Jets,
start asking people questions.
Yeah, exactly, and interact with every single, even if, say take 20 minutes tonight around 10 o'clock, Ryan, and search Jets. See what comes up. Search NY Jets, because you'll have a more targeted hashtag there, because Jets could be anything. It could be the Winnipeg Jets, could be flying a jet, but use hashtag NY Jets and talk to and click all, because that'll take you to the most recent ones that people are actually still on, and respond to them. Start a conversation. Say, hey, I saw the guy's tweet, so Geno Smith might not be the answer. We might have to draft a quarterback. Tweet him back, say, hey, buddy, I disagree or I agree, but do you think Geno could do this if he was given that? Go on and on. Follow him. He'll follow you back. Start tweeting with him. Share your stories with him. He'll end up following you. Maybe he'll promote you if you like your stuff. If you have the good content, you're open with people, willing to talk to people, and willing to follow them, and vice versa. Personally, I don't think there is a better way.
I don't think so either. We call it, Nick and I, fishing for followers.
Yep.
I mean, hey, man, we want more followers because we want our content to reach more people to get noticed. Fish for followers. Hashtag, NFL, and you'll see the most recent people that have hashtagged NFL, and just start a conversation. Oh, Roddy White is going to have, one of the worst years of his career. Oh, really? Like, do you think Julio Jones is better now than Roddy was in his prime? Start a conversation. They'll answer back. You'll have a little convo. He'll follow you.
Exactly.
There's no better follower, Ryan, for your Jets news site or blog than someone who's a Jets fan. Hashtag Jets, NY Jets, and just start the conversation. Once they follow you, they'll be intrigued to read your next article. And tease the next article. Tease it.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be talking about Geno Smith's interceptions and if he could change it.
Yeah. And don't come out with, don't come out with an article like, Jets grades from the game. Come out with, like, the Jets grades from the game were awful. ... Post. That'll get more clicks. People are people of emotional habit, per se. If they see something, wow, they want to know about it. That's the news. That's life. You hear a car crash, you're gonna look, right? You gotta be that car crash, but don't exaggerate it if the story's not exaggerated. You don't want to lie, but give some fire to your stuff. There's too much competition in this field to not be fiery. You gotta be fiery, and then if you're fiery, you'll see some results from it. Don't write an article if it's been written 3 times. Like if 3 people wrote it, write something different. There's a lot you can write. You can write about anything, typically, as a sports fan. I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, write about someone's body language.
Frank, I don't know if I got disconnected before you can hear.
I X'd you out, actually, on purpose.
Oh, that was it. No,
yeah, I wanted to talk.
I
like listening to myself.
I have my charger in my computer, but it wasn't plugged in the wall. So, yeah, but I don't know if you got into answering or giving people information on if they want to join the Fan IQ network, how they can reach us, how they can reach one of the guys in charge or editors at Fan IQ, or you can join. Did you end up getting into any of that, Frank?
Yeah, I actually did. I told them they can go on faniq.com, and on the top right you can click to actually write an article. But sure. You have to log in. So you have to join the actual network. You go to faniq.com. You join the actual network I'm on the site right now. So you will click on hold on. You guys, you click on the top right. It will say join now. You will join. You could sign in via Facebook or email. Then you want to email us your actual email so we can give you some extra blogger tools. It's a great way to just learn and practice traditional reporting and blogging.
Yeah, and if you write a good story, obviously, and write an informative story, they're going to put it up there, and they're going to put it on their headline stories. I know Frank's story that he did about the Jets making the playoffs, obviously that opens up some eyes, and it's not, we're not saying to be outlandish and create stories you don't believe, but if you truly believe it and you can definitely back it up, then definitely go for these stories that will open eyes, because, we can tell you from just, the history of doing it, that's what generates the most clicks and the most views and the most, promoting yourself and promoting your own brand. So definitely get on the Fan IQ site. If you do have questions, again, email us. Best email address is, I'll put it in the chat, and Spano at Next Gen Social Sports, and Frank as well at Fitterini at Next Gen Social Sports, and we'll get you the step-by-step to sign up and give you all the information. And if you want to hop on our Fan IQ train here, and we'll actually schedule you on our weekly and bi-weekly schedule and give you an actual date for you to post articles, which we've done with a bunch of guys and even a few writers who are in the chat right now. We definitely are looking for more writers, obviously, and what better way for you to hit the audience, because it is filtered and it is targeted, and it's a great design and great way to get it out there for sure.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if you guys want to talk personally about writing and being, and expanding, and you just want to share ideas, I love it. Love just talking about ideas. Give me a call. I'll give my number out. I always do 914-424-2864.
Yeah.
Give me a call. 914-424-2864. Call me. Say, hey, man, it's Ryan, or hey, Brenda. Give me a call. We'll talk about, making you, we'll share ideas. I know for me, I can't get good ideas unless I talk to someone about it. Sometimes I want to hang out with Nick just to, let him listen to my ideas because I just can't do it myself. I just can't think to myself. I need someone else. So it's good. It's good to talk about them. So if you have ideas, give me a call. We'll talk. But the thing I wanted to say is friend athletes on Facebook because you can get stories from them. For example, Nick was friends with Stevie Johnson. Stevie Johnson, for his birthday, had his girlfriend's butt as the birthday cake, the shape. Nick put that on our blog. We were the only people that had that picture because Nick was friends with Stevie Johnson, and he put it on faster. We were on Deadspin. We were on Sports Illustrated. We were on all these big networks because we were that source. Get inside access with athletes by friending them on Facebook because you can. Right. Yeah, you see what Brent said? Brent's laughing. It's true. We were on Deadspin for that. If you put Deadspin flopping out, you will see that was our story. Friend them. They're all on Facebook. All these, and they'll accept you. I'm friends with Copels. I was friends with Chris Jenkins until he lost it.
Yeah, he lost it.
But you can take screenshots of someone losing it and putting it on. I mean, I know it's not. I know it's not the best thing.
No, you can create stories through these. No, it's 100% true. If you want to go a different route and be a different form of news source, whether it is humor or whatnot, follow them on Twitter and find them on Facebook because they will provide you with some entertaining stuff. It's definitely true.
Yeah, I'm actually looking for this link right now. I just saw it on, looking for it on, oh, here it is. So here, look. I'm going to screen share.
I love these little Google Plus features over here.
Nick, you love Google Plus. It's really weird.
Make sure you minimize other stuff on your screen too, Frank.
All right, so as you can see, the NFL lockout's almost over. So here's Stevie Johnson's big ass via flopping out. A great story to promote. But look, it got 13,000 hots or whatever that is. 17 comments, not bad. But see, 67 likes, and that was our story on Deadspin. It was a good way to get some exposure, and people, our hits instantly went up. Sure. There's a way to do this, guys. It's not, Nick and I, trust me, we are far from the most genius people you've ever met.
Speak for yourself.
We are, no, we're not. We're not. We don't care. I mean, we try not to care if we looked at as idiots or we do things a little, not the most, in the most professional way because this world isn't as professional as you think. Be different. Give some funny stuff, informative stuff that people aren't researching about. Break news from Ben Naylor and link them, even though people are like, who's Ben Naylor? Do things differently and be fearless and let the critics come and let yourself be known. I mean, you only live once. Take advantage of it, Yeah.
No, yeah, you're 100% right. And it's about... And it's never too late to do it, too.
See that, Nick? See what Brenda wrote me? We need to talk over the weekend.
Uh-oh.
Brenda, I have to ask you a question. If you had to take, all right, either myself or Nick on a date to just talk about sports reporting stuff and writing stuff, who would you want to take to, inform you the most? Would it be this guy or would it be this guy?
Let's see if Frank can promote himself on here. You put him to the test right away. But no, I mean, I think there's some good stuff tonight, and take as much of it, take as little of it away from as possible, and again, Frank, we'll probably wrap this up now because we did start at a 6:40. We went a little over the 6:30 because we had some technical difficulties. We wanted to make sure that the questions were able to answer and stuff, but we did get it going, and we definitely want to keep doing this. So again, Frank's contact information, you can find it on the local bathroom stall. His phone number is over there too, but he'll give you his phone number to call. For me, I'll keep my minutes down because AT&T tries to screw me on my bill every month. So just email me instead. It's nspano@nextgensocialsports.com. I always answer all my emails. I'm always on my phone or on the computer, so don't be afraid to email me anything you want, any questions. Frank too as well. His is fvittorini, VITTORINI at NextGen Social Sports. Websites, check us out, and definitely check out Fan IQ. We really, really suggest you get on board, post stories, do whatever you want, anything, videos, articles, your opinions, your picks for the week, anything, throw it up on there. Keep writing and keep adding, keep promoting yourself. Use all those tools that we told you tonight, the search on Twitter, and just start conversations with people, man. That's what you're on social media for in the first place. It's not to just be creepy and sit there and look at your phone. It's to actually interact with people. And the way sports interaction is going now, it's limitless, and it keeps going and going and improving each day. So take advantage of it.
Yeah, and we also wanted to say too, if anyone else out there, if you guys have anything that you guys think, that's a good idea for other people, you can always share it in this webinar. We're going to do a couple of these a month, maybe 2-3 of them, and we want other ideas. Trust me, we don't know half of the deal with writing. We just have figured out certain things that work, certain things that don't work. We're always trying to learn more. You guys could help us out as well. If you guys have an idea for us, we would love it. We all can critique each other in constructive ways. You know what I mean? So that's just basically it. Thanks to Ryan, thanks to Brenda, thanks to Brent, thanks to anyone else listening out there. We will have this posted via YouTube. It'll be on YouTube because this is a Google Plus on air, so they get done through YouTube. It will also be on our page. We'll put it on a website, on our Facebook. Our website's nextgensocialsports.com. You can get the link there. And, check us out. Nick and I, we also do use Stadium, which is a sports app coming out really soon for football fans to just be able to make opinions fast and aggressive and not have to necessarily do it at the computer. Fan IQ is your spot for the computer, though. You want to be the reporter. You want to be, writing extensive articles. That's your audience. Ours is a little more quick fire, sharing experiences. You're at a sports bar, taking videos and stuff like that. We'll keep you guys updated on that. And, we just want to say thanks to everyone out there. And, man, we love you guys. And, don't be afraid to hit us up and ask questions and give us your own criticisms, definitely. And pretty much it, Nick. So what do you eat for dinner tonight? Well, what did you eat for dinner? Oh, shocking. What'd you eat?
I actually made a grilled chicken pita. It was really good.
Wait, so you made grilled chicken and you put it in pita? Did you warm up the pita?
Yeah, of course. I can't have cold pita. It falls apart.
I like chicken with cold bread more than chicken with warm bread. But if the chicken's warm, I like my bread warm.
It's an interesting tip / note for a bunch of fatties out there, and especially people who do like I'm not a huge chicken parm fan because I find it a little boring now. I used to eat it a lot when I was a kid, but I'm not judging you if you love chicken parm. A good chicken parm every now and then is really good. But if you order a chicken parm, make sure to see, because most places will do it, lightly toasted garlic bread. Put the chicken parm on lightly toasted garlic bread. Nice tip.
Fatty move. All right, well, exactly. That's the fatty tip of the night. Chicken parm with lightly toasted garlic bread, and yep.
I put all the accounts and email addresses in the chat room over there if you're interested, guys, to copy and paste them. So give us a shout anytime. I didn't put Frank's phone number. Like I said, you can find it on some bathroom stalls. But Frank, if you want to give it again,
Frank said he saw my number on the bathroom wall of Hustler Club in New York City. There's more than one of those on there. Trust me, I got a lot of real estate on them walls. But all right, guys, listen, man, it's been fun. We'll do this again in a couple of weeks, and definitely give us a shout. And it's been real. Shout out to Fan IQ allowing us the ability to promote them and help them out, and they help us. Ciao.
Later.